Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming today's guests of honor. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, online viewers worldwide, welcome to the 2026 Tang Prize Laureate announcements. From June 15th to 18th, the Tang Prize Foundation announces the laureates of the 2026 Tang Prize in Sustainable Development, Biopharmaceutical Science, Sinology, and Rule of Law. In today's press conference, the 2026 Tang Prize laureate in Biopharmaceutical Science will be unveiled. To begin with, I'd like to introduce the guests of honor who are here with us today. Academician Zhang Wenchang, Chair of the Selection Committee for Biopharmaceutical Science. Academician Alice Yu of Academia Sinica. Academician Andrew Wang of Academia Sinica. Professor He Hongnen, General Consultant of Taipei Medical University. Professor Chen Zhenchuan, CEO of the Tang Prize Foundation. And now I'd like to invite Professor Chen Zhenchuan, CEO of the Tang Prize Foundation, to give us the opening remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Chen.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Tang Prize Foundation, I welcome you all to the announcement of the 2026 Tang Prize laureates in biopharmaceutical science. Sustainable development is one of the greatest challenges facing humanity in the 24th century. To help build a better future for the world, the Tang Prize Foundation established a prestigious international award in this field to recognize individuals and organizations whose innovation and contributions advance sustainable development and inspire collection efforts. Rapid advances in biopharmaceutical science and technology continue to drive breakthroughs in disease prevention, diagnosis, and treatment, significantly improve human health and quality of life. As the world confronts the challenge of population aging, emerging infectious disease, and other major health threats, innovations in biopharmaceutical science has become a vital force for promoting global sustainable development and enhancing human well-being. Dr. Samuel Yin, founder of the Tang Prize, was always deeply concerned about human health. At a time when Taiwan's new drug development and biotechnology startup ecosystem was still in their early stages, he actively nurturing talent, founded major biomedical research facilities at universities and hospitals, introduced leading international biotechnology experts to Taiwan, and become one of the country's foremost investors in the biomedical industries. For these contributions, he was widely hailed as the man who changed the DNA of Taiwan's biotechnology. The foundation, therefore, established the Tang Prize in biopharmaceutical science as well. Today, we are pleased to announce the laureates of the Tang Prize in biopharmaceutical science. On behalf of the foundation, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to the chair of selection committee, academician Zhang Wenchang, and the members for their dedication and hard work throughout the selection process. We are equally grateful to the distinguished expert joining us today. We also like to extend our heartfelt congratulations to the Tang Prize laureates, whose achievements will shortly be announced. It is with deep sadness that I share that Dr. Samuel, the highly respected founder of the Tang Prize, passed away on May 26, and is therefore unable to witness today's announcement of the Tang Prize laureates. We deeply miss him, yet we believe he would take great comfort in seeing the Tang Prize continue to fulfill the visions upon which he founded it, to build a global platform for wisdom and innovations in biopharmaceutical science, promote the development of the biomedical industries, and to contribute to improving human health and creating a better world for all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Chen, for your opening remarks. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite Chair of the Selection Committee for Biopharmaceutical Science, academician Zhang Wenchang, to announce the 2026 Tang Prize Laureate in Biopharmaceutical Science.
Okay. Distinguished guests, members of the media, I am now honored to announce that the recipients of the 2026 Tang Prize in Biopharmaceutical Science are Stephen Rosenberg, Michel Sadelain, and Carl June. They are jointly awarded for the discovery and development of tumor-infiltrating lymphocyte, TIL, and chimeric antigen receptor T cell, CAR-T, therapies, which have revolutionized treatment of blood cancers and solid tumors. Here, I'd like to briefly introduce these three laureates to you. The first laureate is Dr. Stephen Rosenberg. Dr. Rosenberg received his bachelor's degree with general honors and medical degree from the Johns Hopkins University, and his PhD degree in biophysics from Harvard University. He has served as chief of the surgery branch at the U.S. National Cancer Institute, NCI, since 1974, and as a professor of the surgery at the Uniform Service University of the Health Sciences since 1979. He is also a foreign adjunct professor in cell therapy at Karolinska Institute in Sweden. The second laureate is Dr. Michel Sadelain. Dr. Sadelain received his medical degree from the University of Paris and his PhD degree in immunology from the University of Alberta in Canada. He currently serves as Herbert and Florence Irving Professor of Medicine at Columbia University and is both the director of the Columbia Initiative in Cell Engineering and Therapy and the director of the Cancer Cell Therapy Initiative at the Herbert Irving Comprehensive Cancer Center. The third laureate is Dr. Carl June. Carl June received his bachelor's degree in biology from the United States Naval Academy and his medical degree from Baylor College of Medicine. He is Richard Weck Professor in Immunotherapy and Director of the Center for Cellular Immunotherapy at the University of Pennsylvania, as well as Director of the Parker Institute for Cancer Immunology at the same university. Congratulations to these three Tang Prize laureates. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Zhang, for unveiling this year's Tang Prize laureate in biopharmaceutical science. Next, please join me in welcoming academician Alice Yu of Academia Sinica to introduce the Tang Prize laureates in Biopharmaceutical Science.
Ladies and gentlemen. All right. Okay, sorry. I would like to talk about the major contribution of the three laureates. The first one, we will start with Dr. Steven Rosenberg, who is widely considered the father of cancer therapy, immunotherapy. He's the one who pioneered the use of interleukin-2 for cancer treatment in 1980s. What is interleukin-2? It is a natural protein made by our immune cells. It acts to wake up the immune cells that were sleepy around the tumor cells. And then it can activate them and make them multiply to many, many soldiers fighting cancers. His work led to the FDA approval of interleukin-2 for the treatment of renal cell cancer in 1992, and later for melanoma in 1998. He's also a pioneer in performing the so-called adoptive cell transfer immunotherapy, which laid the foundation for the subsequent tumor-infiltrating lymphocyte, or TIL, therapy and the CAR-T treatment. His major contribution can be represented by the papers published in 1985 in New England Journal of Medicine, which shows that administration of patient-owned lymphokine-activated killer cell and together with the recombinant interleukin-2 can cure metastatic cancer in patients. And the following year, he published in Journal of American Medical Association to show that the use of high-dose interleukin-2 can be helpful to treat metastatic cancer. This is a study that leading to the first FDA approval of the interleukin-2. Now, this graph tells you how tumor-infiltrating lymphocyte therapy works. First of all, you take a little piece of tumor tissue from the patient in which there are a few T cells, not very active. And then you take them to the lab and separate them into little pieces and culture them with high-dose interleukin-2, which will then wake up the T cells to multiply and kill the tumor cells. You then select the culture that can specifically recognize the tumor cells and amplify them to billions of cells. Now you can reinfuse this back to the patient to treat the cancer. So with this kind of effort, the approval of TIL by FDA was given in 2024 for the treatment of metastatic melanoma. Currently, it's undergoing very active clinical trial for different kinds of cancer. Now, next slide shows this is CAR-T, how CAR-T cell work. CAR stands for chimeric antigen receptor. So you start out by taking patient's blood and then separate out their T cells, activate the T cells, and now you genetically engineer these T cells to express a GPS system. This GPS system will guide them to seek out the cancer cell. At the same time, it will activate the T cell to kill tumor. So with this kind of a GPS-guided T cell, you now multiply them into billions of cells and then reinfuse them back to the patient for the treatment. So the key is the design of the so-called CAR, chimeric antigen receptor. The initial concept was just to use the antibody that recognize antigen on the cancer cell surface as the GPS guide tracker, okay? And then the internal signal will trigger the T cell to kill the tumor cell when they are in contact with them. However, this first generation failed because it didn't persist, and these cells could not multiply. So Michel Sadelain, one of the laureates, designed a second generation car by adding an accelerator or an engine to this car by adding so-called co-stimulatory molecule. Now it can multiply actively and persist in vivo, and this then become the successful CAR T these days used in clinic. The third generation is by adding another engine, to make this stronger stimulator and more active. The fourth generation is by adding cytokine signal to recruit surrounding immune cells to join the force to kill tumor. And then the fifth generation can sense the internal signal and then adjust the stimulation signal to do the proper anti-cancer activity. So all the later generation are now still in research. Michel Sadelain is the one who found the architect of second generation CAR by making them a better CAR T cells. He's also the first one to introduce the concept of using CD19 as the GPS guide to target B cell cancers. So the representative paper are shown here, Nature Biotechnology 2002. It introduced second generation CAR by incorporating CD28 signal. In 2003, in Nature Medicine, the paper is the first to show that CAR T with the GPS CD19 could guide the tumor to eradicate B cell malignancies. In 2013, a Science Translational Medicine article documented the first complete remission in adult with relapsed or refractory acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Now, Dr. Carl June developed the very first commercially approved CAR T cell therapy. It's called chimeric for relapsed B cell leukemia and lymphomas. His major representative paper are shown here. 2011 New England Journal of Medicine shows the first successful use of CD19 CAR T to treat adult patients with chronic lymphocytic leukemia. In the same year, using mechanistic study, he showed that how these CAR T cells expand and kill T cells and persist in patient body. In 2013, his group published in New England Journal of Medicine documenting successful complete remission in 2 children with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. And one of them is the famous Emily Whitehead. She received the CAR T therapy at age 7 in 2012. She's now a 21-year-old junior in the University of Pennsylvania. Now, today, there are 7 CAR T cell approved by FDA. All but one target the CD19 for B cell leukemia, lymphoma. The single one is the BCMA is the target antigen for the treatment of multiple myeloma. And actually, the first and the second were approved in the same year, only 2 months apart. One by Carl June and the other is by Michel Sadelain. I will stop here and thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Yu, for the insightful introduction. And congratulations to the Tang Prize laureates in Biopharmaceutical Science. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's watch a video from the laureates in biopharmaceutical science.
Well, it's probably the most prestigious prize I've received, but I have received other prizes from Israel and mainly organizations that are involved with cancer research and immunology. So this is a broad prize that recognizes accomplishments, and it's a great pleasure for me to receive it. I guess if I had to say something about the recognition of the Tang Prize, it's that it's taking care of those patients that keep things in perspective. It's not the prize that I'm seeking, but rather the ability to effectively help people who can't be helped by today's medicine. The whole goal of our work at the National Cancer Institute is to create the medicine of tomorrow.
Well, complete surprise. I didn't know anybody in Taipei, so a strange phone call from far away, and then this amazing news. Of course I know about the Tang Prize. It's a very famous prize, but I never thought that I would be one of the very lucky recipients of such a prize. Well, I think the Tang Prize is very wise. I don't know who is on the committee, but obviously if you look at the amazing track record of the awardees over the past years, it is clear that they have the ability to identify some of the most impactful research. So I think that is why the Tang Prize is so respected and so famous worldwide.
It was really a big surprise because I didn't know that I had been nominated, and then it's clearly a huge honor to be a recipient this, of such a prestigious prize. So I'm really very honored, and it was a complete surprise. It just came via email and telephone call. The most important thing really is that it brings to the public, they learn the value of research and how it has changed people's lives. And CAR T cells have made striking differences. There's been about 60,000 patients treated now. And so it's really important that, what the Tang Foundation can do is spread this knowledge so that people will want to support research and bring more young students into this field. And I think that's hopefully what can happen from this really very prestigious award.
Congratulations to the laureates. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us at the 2026 Tang Prize Laureate announcement in Biopharmaceutical Science. Tomorrow, we will make the laureate announcement in Sinology, and the Tang Prize award ceremony will take place on September 18th this year. We look forward to seeing you then. Thank you.